Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, the Tucanxan art channel. This is Zan here, and today we are working on day 26 of 30 of my 30-day challenge. So we are coming up to the end here. We only have 4 more days in this challenge, and I'm very excited about it because this particular painting is a really big deal because I finally broke 500 followers on Instagram. And I'm sure probably to a lot of you out there that doesn't mean much. It's like, oh, it's only 500, but like to me it's such a big deal because I have been working so hard to keep up with my Instagram to grow it and to hit at least 1,000 followers. Like I really want to grow and make my first 1,000 followers by myself before I start looking at, like, you know, professional companies that can help you grow your following or whatever. So it was really rewarding for me to like wake up the day before yesterday and realize that I had 500 followers. So that's why I'm making this piece, and I didn't know what I wanted to do originally, so I threw a couple thumbnails around and then I settled on this idea. And it's pretty subtle, but you hopefully will be able to see by the end of the video that there is 500 hidden in the smoke coming out of this girl's mouth. So let's get into it. Okay, so we are using pretty much the same technique that I've been using the past few days with the watercolor because it's been really fun, the Laovaan technique, right? It's been really, really enjoyable, and the finish ends up being really, really smooth. I think I still need to work on understanding how to make lighter skin tones because the last 2 pieces that I've done have had definitely darker skin tones with like a very tanny or blue undertone. So I'm gonna work on doing more like a pinky peach undertone next time, I think. I don't know, I'm really enjoying watercolor. I feel like it responds to me very well. So first I laid down a layer of water, and then I went in with, you saw me mix, it was red, yellow, like a more browny yellow and an actual yellow, and some white. So the white is to lighten it up, and I put that layer down first, and then I started going in with some shadows and stuff. And right now I'm mixing Payne's Gray in with the flesh that I made originally so that the colors all blended and were very cohesive. And again, like right now it looks really terrible, right? Because like it's just the water spreading everywhere. But it ends up looking really, really smooth once it dries. And you will notice that I'm not using the hairdryer today. I totally still use the hairdryer. I just, for this painting, I was set up in the garage because it was a gorgeous day out. And so that's why like the lighting's a little bit different. Things probably look a little bit more saturated because I was using my partner's construction work lights to light my scene instead of what I usually do. And right now I'm also mixing another flesh tone because I'm like, well, I'm probably gonna have to do her ear and her neck eventually. Yeah, so just it looks pretty repetitive up until now. It is pretty repetitive. You pretty much just keep layering and layering and layering. Another thing that I want to learn how to do is when it's appropriate to use the dry on wet technique and the wet on wet technique. I think the wet on wet works very well for your base layers, but I'd like to get a little bit more definition, I think, next time from the cheekbones and the corner of the nose. And I think in order to do that, I'll probably have to do like a more wet on dry kind of technique and then wet it so I can spread it around. So I'm going to try and experiment with that next time. Yeah, so again, just kind of going in with some grays and some browns and deepening the shadows. I hope everybody's having a good Saturday. I know I am because I hit 500 followers. What? So yeah, that's super, super exciting for me. I don't know if you could tell or not. And also, for anybody who's interested, if you want, please give me your email because I'm going to send out an e-invite, because if you have been to my website recently, tucanxan.com, that is TUCANXAN.com, you'll see that there is a countdown timer. Now this is where I started to have fun, where I put the blue in the neck here. I was like, I don't want to do regular skin tones in the neck, and the dripping effect ended up being really cool. And you can see I because it wasn't dripping, so I just added a touch more water so that the gravity would do its thing and it would drip appropriately. Anyway, so I officially have a countdown timer on my website because I am opening my shop next Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So wherever you are in the world, here on the West Coast, my art shop will be live, so I need to keep working to get my pictures together. What's going to be for sale are a lot of the originals that you see or have seen in the 30-day challenge, and I will also have art prints available for sale. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have like the first 25 people will lock in a $25 price per print, because these are going to be, you know, pretty good quality prints. I have a wonderful printer over here. It's the Canon Pixma Pro 10, which uses predominantly pigment-based ink, and pigment-based ink is supposed to be relatively archival, so instead of just like having a print that can last only a few months and then it starts to yellow because of the sun, supposedly this will make my prints archival quality. And I'm also going to be printing them on a really nice fine art matte inkjet paper. So the prints are going to be like 8.5 by 11. I think I'll offer some 5 by 7, and then for cheaper options eventually I want to move into making 11 by 17 posters, because you don't really have to worry about the archival quality for posters. So yeah, so if you want, please give me your email so I can send you the invite, and I'm going to work on getting a discount code ready for those of you who do sign up, like, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15% off. So yeah, it's really exciting. A lot of really cool things happening this week, and I know I'm going to be doing, I think, a giveaway at some point, probably the day before I launch my e-commerce site. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do for the giveaway yet. I think maybe I will offer like a medium portrait, or I will offer a free print and some stickers. I don't know, we'll see. What should I offer? What do you think would be good as my first giveaway? I really want to know, so if you could just let me know in the comments below. So sorry we kind of deviated from the process here, but it's basically the same thing. After I did put the blue on the neck, the blue was a combination of the colors that I used previously in the Bubblegum Princess painting with gouache and white and Dr. Teal's Norway Blue. So I just lightened that up. Actually, I put a bit of green in there because I wanted more of a turquoise feeling to that, and I went for a really bold vampire kind of burgundy lip, and I built that up slowly, and now I'm working on the eyebrows, and it looks super weird right now, right, because there's no details in the piece, but you'll see in a bit, unfortunately, because I started to run out of battery on my camera, because again, I was outside. Normally if I'm inside, I can just connect my camera to an outlet and just keep filming while it's charging, but that wasn't possible, so I had to like start choosing when I was going to film and when I wasn't. So that's why you're going to see that there's some details that just kind of appear out of nowhere. And again, in between each of these takes, I'm going over to my hairdryer and I'm drying the piece up. So now we're working on the hair, and the hair was kind of interesting. I knew I wanted dark, but I wanted some kind of like blue undertones, but I didn't want them to be the same teal. So it's just the same process. I used wet on wet here first, and then I started kind of blending it out more and more. And now I'm working on the eyebrows. This is mostly Payne's Gray with some blue. And then I went in with a light blue right here that's like getting close to almost like a baby blue. It's not quite as green as the neck is. And then I put some blue on the tips, and like you won't even be able to notice it later because I pretty much cover up all of this, because I was like, yeah, this looks good, but it's not quite what I'm wanting. It just doesn't have the oomph that I'm looking for. So just building the layer in, and now I start putting some more blue in, and this is where things start to get really interesting, because I was like, this isn't doing what I want. So I just was like, okay, fine, I'm just gonna go for it. And so instead of mixing on my palette, I started mixing the actual colors on the paper itself, and that's where you can see this really nice, like, bold, almost black color. So it was a combination of blue, Payne's gray, and I think burnt umber, I'm pretty sure. And I was like, that's more the color I was looking for. And I wasn't too worried about the details because I knew it was going to dry okay, and I knew that some of the finer details in the hair I was going to add later, either with colored pencil or with white, which is what you'll see I did eventually. And so then I just let this layer dry, and I went into her eyebrows, which ended up being like massive. Like, this chick, she's got some big old furry caterpillar eyebrows. And again, I just actually mixed on the paper, and I was like, you know what, go big or go home. We're gonna go for some bold ass eyebrows. And then right now what I'm doing is I am framing the piece out, and I used the remainder of Dr. P.H. Martin's Radiant Watercolor in Persimmon, and I gave like a very light border because I just really like that combination of like that bright blue and that bright pink. So now all of a sudden she has eyelashes and she has details and nose and stuff. So I did use Prismacolor pencils off camera again because I was running out of battery. And I don't know specifically which colors I used, but I used like a dark tan, a grayish kind of tan. I used black for the details in her eyebrows and for the tips of her hair. And this, what I'm doing right now with the white Uniball Sigma pen, that's actually something that I've seen a couple of other artists do with their watercolor, including Laovaan and what's his name, Thomas Mirza. I'll just link his information for you all. But they do this cool thing where they follow the white, or they follow like the kind of splotchiness that the watercolor makes naturally, and it makes a really cool effect. I think that's really what took this piece from like just okay to kind of like really interesting to look at. And it's a very simple technique to do. All you do is just like find the interesting areas in the piece and lay some white down. It's super easy, and it brings a lot of pop. So what I just did there was I used the Finetec watercolor for the first time, and that was really exciting. I used the silver, I let it kind of sit and bake a little bit and activate with the water, and then I colored in the 500 completely with the silver, and I outlined it with the Uniball Sigma in white, which I just love the Uniball Sigma and the Sakura Jelly Roll because they add like a three-dimensional aspect to the piece because it gives the piece a bit of texture. And that's the message for you all. P.S. Don't smoke. And this piece is called Bad For You. So that's it. That was the entire kind of process for today. My shop is opening next week. I'm super excited. If you want to buy this piece, it will be available. And thank you so much for joining me today. Please let me know what I should do for the giveaway, which you all would be interested in seeing. And I can't wait to see you back here tomorrow. That's going to be day 27. We're coming to the end. Oh my gosh, it's super exciting. And there you can really see the silver right now. So I'm super happy with how the piece turned out. So please like, comment, subscribe. I answer every comment I receive, and every subscription makes me super happy, and so does every like. So have a great Saturday, and I will see you back here tomorrow on Sunday.